When you can't make it to City Hall or the school board meetings, local journalists from Duluth News Tribune will be there to report the facts and get your questions answered. Local news works for you. Stay up to date at duluthnewstribune.com.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Wednesday, January 25th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now, here's a look at today's headlines. A $65.2 billion two-year budget proposed by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz would include direct checks of up to $2,600 for 2.5 million Minnesota households and cuts to the Social Security income tax. The final piece of Walz's budget includes what the governor touted as the biggest tax cut in state history for the, quote, greatest number of Minnesotans across the spectrum, end quote. Overall, the budget would result in $8 billion in tax cuts for families and older Minnesotans. The governor is required to make his budget recommendations to the legislature in January of each odd year, but the final budget is the product of negotiations between lawmakers and the governor. Walz's new direct payments proposal would cost the state about $3.9 billion. Walz pitched direct payments in the last legislative session, though so far, the proposal has been met with a lukewarm reception by DFL legislative leaders. Under Walz's new budget proposal, families earning less than $150,000 a year would get $2,000 and single filers earning less than $75,000 a year would get $1,000. In cases where the direct payments are paired with a state benefit for families with children, a household with 3 kids could get up to $2,600. Taxes on Social Security income would not be completely eliminated under the Walz plan, but the budget proposal calls for $219 million to reduce the tax level for more than 350,000 Minnesota households. DFL lawmakers have been hesitant on cutting Social Security income taxes because it would cost the state roughly $500 million to eliminate. Republicans support getting rid of the tax altogether. Regulators on Monday approved increasing Minnesota Power's rates by 9.5% instead of the full 17.58% increase requested by the Duluth-based utility in late 2021. But bills won't jump by 9.5% when customer bills begin reflecting the new rates this summer. That's because in January 2022, residential rates were temporarily increased by 7.11%, where they remain today. So residential customers will only see rates increase by the difference of interim and final rates, just shy of 2.5%. And because the final rate is lower than the interim rate of just over 14%, those customers can expect a refund of the difference with interest. The company intends to file another rate case later this year to fund its transition to more renewable energy sources. It did not say how much of an increase it will seek in its next rate case. Now with an update on UMD men's and women's hockey is News Tribune sports reporter Matt Wellens.
Hi, I'm Matt Wellens of the Duluth News Tribune and co-host of the Bulldog Insider podcast, here with your weekly UMD hockey update. Both the men and women are returning home this weekend to Amsoil Arena, and they're coming off victories. Looking back at last week's action, the women swept their WCHA series at St. Thomas, winning 3-0 and 5-1 over the Tommies. Fifth-year senior Gabby Hughes surpassed the 200-point milestone over the weekend, becoming the 7th Bulldog in program history to tally 200 or more points in her career. Fifth-year senior Emma Soderberg, the goaltender, picked up her 7th shutout of the season and 18th of her career, inching her closer to the program record of 10 shutouts in a single season and 20 in a career. Both those goalie records are owned by Kayla Black. More milestones on the women's side. Annika Linzer and Naomi Rogie extended their goal-scoring streaks in the series by tallying 3 goals each against the Tommies. Linzer has 8 goals over 6 consecutive games, while Rogie has 4 goals over 3 straight games. The UMD men split their NCHC series at North Dakota, losing 4-2 on Friday before bouncing back to win 2-1 on Saturday. 3 of the Bulldogs' 4 goals came from freshmen, as winger Kyle Benton scored both goals on Friday. Isaac Howard put UMD on the board first on Saturday to give him goals now in back-to-back weekends. UMD's game-winning goal came off a veteran, though. It came off the skate of senior Luke Lowhite in the final minutes Saturday after Ben Steeves picked off a pass in the North Dakota zone. He fed it to Dominic James. James found Lowhite driving the North Dakota net, and that allowed the Bulldogs to get the victory. The UMD women, they're going to host Minnesota this weekend. We got doubleheaders at AMSOIL Arena. The women go at 3 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. It's a series that pits two of the top 6 teams in the USCHO poll this week. The Bulldogs have won 6 straight games and are unbeaten in their last 9 games. The Gophers have won 10 straight games now and are battling Ohio State for the league title. Both these teams are jostling for pairwise positioning, hoping to host an NCAA regional in March rather than go on the road. For UMD, nabbing a top 4 spot in the pairwise would mean playing the entirety of the NCAA tournament at home, with the Frozen Four coming to AMSOIL Arena. Wins against the Gophers would go a long way in reaching that goal, and the Bulldogs can put some pressure on the Gophers and Buckeyes for that top spot in the WCHA. The Bulldogs men are hosting St. Cloud State at 7 p.m. on Friday and Saturday at AMSOIL Arena. It's a homecoming for former Bulldogs assistant coach and captain Brett Larson, the Duluth-Denfeld graduate who is in his 5th season coaching the Huskies. Larson has St. Cloud State tied with Denver atop the NCHC standings after sweeping the Pioneers in St. Cloud over the weekend. The Huskies also took over the number 1 ranking in both polls this week via their sweep. This is the first meeting between the Bulldogs and Huskies since last year's NCHC quarterfinal series, where UMD pulled off the upset in 2 games in St. Cloud, winning that second game in overtime en route to an NCHC Frozen Faceoff title and another NCAA tournament berth. I'll be at all 4 games this weekend, pending any illnesses. Sorry I didn't make it to Grand Forks last weekend. For more Bulldogs hockey coverage, visit duluth.com/Bulldog Insider. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Matt. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the Women Today's 6th Annual Rosie Awards.
Duluth area weather for today. Snow continuing today with another inch or 2 before it ends sometime later this afternoon. High in the upper 20s. Winds will be generally northeast at around 5 to 15. For tonight, a few scattered flurries or snow showers early, turning colder with a low in the single digits, and a colder day on Thursday, kind of blustery, with a high temperature in the teens, with winds out of the northwest around 10 to 15. There's another round of snow coming in Thursday night and Friday, then turning significantly colder this weekend. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist John Wheeler.
Thank you to the Rosie Awards for their support. Northland women are a driving force in our community. They are advocates, mentors, volunteers, and leaders. Nominate a special woman you think deserves to be recognized at thewomantoday.com or by email at dearrosie@thewomantoday.com. Nominations are now open and continue through January 31st. Reporting for today's episode was done by Alex DeRosier and Jimmy Loverin. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.